Once upon a time, a bunch of nerds with laptops, messy hair, and too much coffee decided to make the world a better place. And fast forward to decades, now you're living in a world where Google decides what you know, Facebook decides what you feel, Amazon decides what you buy, and Apple, well, they decide how much of your kidney you'll sell for the latest iPhone. This isn't a fairy tale. This is Silicon Valley, the land where billionaires play God, democracy feels like a software bug, and data is the new oil, only leakier and way, way creepier. So buckle up, because this isn't just an article. It's your front row ticket to the gladiator arena, where tech giants rule, governments bow, and the rest of us, well, we fight for the Wi-Fi. Chapter 1. Inequality a la Silicon Valley. Picture this. You've got gleaming Tesla cars zipping past tent cities under highway bridges. That's not a dystopian Netflix series. That's just a Tuesday in Silicon Valley. On one side, you have billionaires debating if they should colonize Mars or just buy their own islands. On the other side, you have Uber drivers sleeping in those same Teslas because the rent costs more than their annual salary. And COVID made it even worse. While you were hoarding toilet paper, Jeff Bezos was hoarding billions. Every job lost seemed to translate into another rocket part for his space toys. Silicon Valley promised opportunity, but what we got instead was a Silicon Hunger Games. May the odds be ever in your Wi-Fi signal. Chapter 2. Tax Yoga. The billionaire stretch. If billionaires had a yoga pose, it would be the downward-facing tax dodge. Tech corporations have turned tax evasion into a fine art. Apple stashes profits in Ireland like a squirrel hoarding nuts. Facebook builds data centers in random cornfields just to beg local governments for tax breaks. Meanwhile, you're sitting there calculating if you can write off your Netflix subscription as research. And let's not forget BlackRock, the shadowy financial overlord that nobody elected. They swooped in after the 2008 crisis, handed Amazon cheap money, and basically said, "Here, dominate Earth." And Amazon was like, "Cool, do you also fund Mars?" Chapter 4. Surveillance Capitalism. Smile, you're being sold. Mark Zuckerberg didn't invent friendship. He invented a data mining machine disguised as friendship. Every like, every swipe, every single emoji. Facebook stores it, analyzes it, and sells it to advertisers who know you better than your own mom. Want to feel extra paranoid? That ad for cat food right after thinking about cats? Yeah, that wasn't a coincidence. Shoshana Zuboff calls it surveillance capitalism. I just call it digital pickpocketing. You thought social media was free? Wrong. You're not the customer, you're the product. Chapter 5. Democracy. There's an app for that, but it crashes. Tech companies now have more lobbyists in Washington than there are actual senators. The very people who decide your laws are often just interns compared to Silicon Valley's lawyers. Want to pass a law to curb big tech? Good luck. By the time it reaches the floor, it's already been rewritten, rebranded, and buried under a mountain of legal jargon that basically just says, lol, nope. So when people ask, is democracy dying? The answer is not dying, just throttled by bad Wi-Fi, courtesy of your friendly neighborhood telecom monopoly. Chapter 6. The Global Arena. When Titans Collide. Just when you thought American tech giants were scary, here comes China with Alibaba, Tencent, and TikTok. While Silicon Valley collects your selfies, Beijing collects your soul. And possibly your biometric data. And let's be honest, no Western politician can ban TikTok without losing their entire teenage voter base. It's not East versus West anymore. It's the global tech Hunger Games. And we're all just pawns uploading content for free. Epilogue. The digital Hunger Games continue. So, here we are, living in a world where 4 companies can practically reboot civilization if they ever get bored. Google is knowledge, Amazon is commerce, Apple is devices, Facebook is feelings. Together, they form the modern Mount Olympus. They promised innovation, they delivered addiction. They promised democracy, they delivered targeted ads. And yet, here we are, scrolling, clicking, swiping, streaming, because in this circus, we're not spectators. We're the clowns. The next time someone tells you technology is just a tool, remind them, so is a guillotine.